a show where real dads share their stories about being present in their child's life with the goal of raising responsible adults. I am your host, Sarah McClure, and my guest today is Daniel Williams. Danny and I met over 15 years ago while working at the same police department. Danny is currently working at Wayne State University Police Department as a sergeant. But more importantly, he is a proud dad and husband. Today, I'm going to talk to Danny about his experience as a dad and the lessons that fatherhood has taught him. So, welcome, Danny. Thank you for
Thank,
coming on.
thanks for having me. I appreciate you for inviting me out. Hopefully, I have some stories that can be beneficial and insightful for some folks who haven't made it to fatherhood yet.
I believe, and for those who have, I believe
Yes,
they will
yeah.
be. So I like to start off with some basic background questions. So where'd you grow up? What city did you grow up in?
Oh, I grew up in the city of Detroit, all over the east side, west side, southwest, northwest. I think I did my most formidable, or what I would consider important years of growing up in the Brightmoor area.
Okay. Now
Yeah.
was that because your parents' job kept changing, or you stayed with your grandmother and grandpa? How was
No,
you
I
being a
lived
little
with my
giant?
mom, but I lived with my mom, but we just kind of lived all over the city, you know.
Okay.
And then we finally settled somewhere where we stayed for quite a while, and that was over in Brightmoor area. Yeah.
Okay. So what school did you go to? What high school?
Uh, High school, I graduated from Ray Wright, class of '88. I put that out there.
Okay. Were you popular in school? Did you play any
No,
sports?
I worked. I've been working since I was 14. So, I mean, I think if there was any popularity associated with me in school, it was the fact that I was hustling candy bars and lollipops
Okay. So
while
you're
I
an
was in high school.
entrepreneur. You was an
Yeah.
entrepreneur. Okay. So what did you want to be when you were growing up?
Oh man. So the very first job that I wanted to have that I can remember was being a Twin Pines milkman. And the reason being is I think I was about 5 or 6 years old when I made that decision. And I don't know if you remember when they used to deliver milk to the house.
Yes, the
They,
glass bottles, yeah,
they
the
used to put it
milk.
in the milk chute, ice cream. You could get all that good stuff. And
Yeah.
I used to sit outside and watch the truck come down the street, and I'd be like, "That's what I want to do when I grow up," because I like milk.
Oh,
I like
okay.
ice cream. You know.
I thought it was because of the joy that it brought to kids. And you was a kid, it's like, yeah, I like to make people happy or something. I don't know.
Well, it could have been that too, but I was too young to think of it
Right.
that way. I was thinking about myself when I was 5, 6 years old.
As you should have. As you should have.
Right.
So, how many siblings do you have?
I have two brothers and a sister. Yes.
Okay. Are you guys close?
What's that?
Are you close?
Yes.
You talk to each other like every, like,
I
maybe once a
mean,
week or three, four
every
times
few
a
every few
month?
days, every few days.
Okay. So,
Yes.
what your parents do for a living?
My mom was a teacher, and my dad was a police officer.
Okay. So, I've seen your dad. I know of your dad.
Yes.
Seen him on several occasions at different celebrations. He appeared to be a no nonsense kind of a guy. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
He very direct.
So, because he was the police, how much from straying, outside of those boundaries did you even consider knowing who he was,
Oh,
you know,
I
as a dad and as his position, his title? Did that
well,
stop
I
you?
mean, as a kid and growing up as a young adolescent, you get into your trouble,
Right.
right? It's inevitable. You're gonna get into your trouble. However, I never wanted to disappoint either one of my parents, my mother or my father. So that kind of kept me from getting into big trouble
Okay.
because I didn't want to disappoint them by doing something that they wouldn't approve of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how much of the way your dad helped raise you, or what percentage would you say is responsible for who you are as a man and as a dad today?
From my father,
Yeah.
Oh, probably 50%. Yes, I give them half.
So mom was right in there doing her part as well.
Yes, my mother kind of gave me the early instruction, right? And I got the
Okay.
later instruction pretty much as an adult from my father. Uh,
Okay.
you
So
know what
when you
I'm
say
saying?
early, what do you mean early? How to
In
act
my
in
early in my
school?
early life, growing up,
Hmm.
everything that all the rules and everything that I learned, all my values I got from my mother, right?
Okay.
And it wasn't until probably my early 20s that I started receiving things from my father
Okay.
in terms of values and ideals and stuff like that.
So when you were growing up, what type of activities did you guys do as a family? Where's your mom? Did y'all go on vacations? Did y'all have family
We we would
traditions?
go to we would go visit my uncle in Chicago. We get on the Greyhound bus, go to Chicago quite often, go visit one of my uncles live on the South Side. And we would do a lot of local stuff here in Detroit. We didn't do too much traveling outside of the state.
So after you graduated from high school, did you find a job, go to college, take up a
Yeah.
trade?
So immediately after high school, I went to trade school, and I went there for about 6 or 7 months, and I decided I didn't like it anymore. So I stopped going to school, and I was just working. And my mother and my brother Arnold, they cornered me, told me that I had to get my tail back. I'm saying this nicely.
Right.
Had to get my tail back in school and get on a trajectory that would put me in a positive state, I guess you could say, of success. Yeah.
Okay.
So I went back to school, WC3, and eventually I went back to Wayne State and I got my 4-year degree.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of job did you get after school?
After school, I was just working security. I worked for a security company. I was working at community college. I think it was Henry Ford at the time. I think they
Mhm.
changed though. I think they like a not a community college. I think they're college now. But yeah, I worked there, and I used to work in a party store in the neighborhood when I was a teenager. Yeah.
So while you were working and making this money, did you think about marriage and having a family?
No,
Okay.
no, no. I was trying to figure out my success. I was trying to figure out how to put myself in a position where I was comfortable and I was able to take care of myself and things that needed to be taken care of. Yeah.
All right. But eventually you did become a
Yeah.
husband. So how
Yeah.
many children do you guys have?
I have 3 daughters and a grandson.
Okay.
Hmm.
So when you met, how did you meet your wife?
That's a funny story. I actually met her at a party at a club yesterday's in Southfield back in 1999. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
trying
one of
to
the last places I thought I would meet my wife at a club.
oh okay. Well you thought you
Uh,
was gonna meet at a church
I
or at the park?
really, I don't know. I just never thought I'd find a wife in the club, but I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you met her, did you know that she was the one, or did you guys have to take a little time to get to know one another?
It was probably about 2 years after we were dating that I figured out that she was the one. And also, this is kind of go back to your question about when did I know I wanted to get married, right? So it's kind of like a Maslow theory, the little pyramid of needs, wants and needs. Uh, I kept hitting those goals and making accomplishments in my life, and I was getting to the top of the pyramid where everything was in the way for me. I felt like I hit everything, and I got to a point where I felt like something was missing. And what I felt like was missing was a family, a wife, and kids.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. That's very mature.
yeah. So it's kind of like I don't know how to describe it, but I don't want to say it was empty. It wasn't an emptiness. It was a
Something was
want. It
missing.
was a want, a need. It was a desire. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. it's like you was missing that rib or something that
Yeah, yeah.
to-
You know, I was like, man, I got a house, I got a car, I got some money. Uh, I'm missing something. I need something else. I need something else here to bring it all together.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, once you met this lovely lady and you guys got married, did you decide, or did you say, well, let's have a couple of kids, or I want to have one kid, or did you think about children, or you was like, let's
Uh,
enjoy each other first?
well, we definitely planned we planned the kids.
Okay.
So, uh, we didn't talk about how many we wanted to have. We just had kids, but
Okay.
we planned each one, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, in your family, do you guys have your extended family? Do you guys have traditions that you do that you brought to your own life? Like for Christmas, people wake up, Christmas at noon or Christmas Eve, and they open a present. Do you guys
Yeah.
do traditional stuff from her family and your family?
Yeah. So absolutely, most families do have traditions, especially around holidays and birthdays. We have traditions for birthdays. We have traditions for the holiday, Christmas Eve. Her family does Christmas Eve every year, and probably the last 10 years or so, it's been at my house, and it's always a lot of fun. Christmas morning, in terms of opening gifts, but tradition, it's just like whenever we wake up,
Oh, you get
whatever.
up all
Usually,
night from Christmas Eve.
yeah, like usually the kids will come in the room if we're not up, and they'll wake us and be like, "We ready to open the gifts," and we just get up and come downstairs and watch them open the gifts.
So
Do
how
the
old are
traditional thing. Yeah.
how old are your daughters and your grandchild?
So my oldest daughter's 27. She's a graduate of Tennessee State University. Memphis. She's a Memphis Tiger. Graduated from Memphis University. She works in healthcare, IT, doing IT stuff. She has a 5-year-old son, my grandson CJ. I have a 19-year-old daughter. She is in her second year at GSU, Georgia State University, and she is going to go into the nursing program. Matter of fact, she has to apply for it, I think, this week, if she hadn't applied for the to get into the nursing school yet. And my youngest daughter is 14. 14? Yeah, she's 14. She'll be 15 this year. And she's a ninth grader in high school.
Now, the one that's at Georgia State, has she ever been away from home? I mean, she's going to Georgia State. Has she ever been away from you guys? How was that
So
to?
so here's a benefit too that my kids have that I didn't have, and I'm so grateful for it. They're well traveled.
Okay.
Uh, they've been to multiple countries. They've been pretty much all over the United States, West Coast, South, East, Northeast. They've been all over the place. They've seen how people live in different areas. They've experienced different cultures, uh, you know, and she made the decision to leave state because she wanted to go to school and experience a different environment, but she's calculating. I'm so proud of her. She's calculating. She applied to every school she applied to, she got accepted to. And
Wow.
we took her to we told her she had to narrow it down to like maybe 4 schools, right? 3 or 4
Okay.
schools. And all the schools that she narrowed it down to, her first choice was a HBCU, which was FAMU. So we took her to all of the schools that she wanted to go to after we told her to narrow it down to about 3 or 4. We went and did campus visits and everything. And she ended up going to Georgia State University. FAMU was a beautiful campus. It was a beautiful campus. It was a beautiful experience. I enjoyed it. We went down there and visited, and I wanted to go back to college. But I was like, man, how can I pull this off? But But
Really?
the thing, she made her decision because I thought FAMU, she was like rah rah rah.
Leaving?
But
Yeah.
she made it. And this is what I like about her. She's so I love it. She made her decision to go to Georgia State University because FAMU's nursing program was on. I don't know what kind. They were on some kind of probation with the state of Florida,
Okay. All right.
because their graduates weren't passing the NCLEX exam after nursing school.
Oh,
So they nursing program got put on probation, and my daughter was like, "Oh, I'm not having any part of that."
I know that's right. I
So
know
she
that's right.
wasn't she wanted the experience, but she, I think, made the right decision. I told her it doesn't make sense to go to a school with a program that's on probation from the state.
Right.
You know.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So before your children were born, what about being a father were you most excited about when your wife was pregnant?
I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know. I can kind of compare this to when I was working in Detroit when I first got promoted to the rank of sergeant. I wanted the promotion and I wanted the money, but I didn't know what to expect being a supervisor. I didn't know what it was going to be like dealing with people older than me, people that I used to be peers next to.
Right.
So it was kind of, I can compare it because I had never been a dad before, and I was just nervous, and I really didn't know what to expect. I just know that I wanted to be what I would call the greatest father ever.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be like the ideal parent to my child. I wanted to take care of them, make sure they had what they needed, and at the same time make sure that they understand that I was about to cuss. Understand that this stuff is not free.
Okay.
So that they can have a sense of responsibility and not feel privileged. Just to know that, hey, you have to earn what you get. You have to work hard for it. You got to be respectful. I mean, it's just a whole lot of things.
They went through your mind. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I got a beautiful wife who's a beautiful mother to our children. So yeah, she plays a large role. So
That's
yeah.
beautiful. So when your kids were growing up, what kind of activities did you guys do with them?
Oh wow. Uh, they grew up cheerleaders. From like little out here we live in Belleville, so out in Belleville they were part of the local Belleville sports program. So they've been cheering since they're like 4 years old. You know,
Wow.
we had them in karate, uh, academics, of course, make sure the academics are up to par. Uh, and we traveled a lot. My wife don't sit still. She leaves without me, and she take the kids. You know how it is. I
Well,
can't
with your
go.
job,
I can't go most of the
yeah,
time because work.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that was, yeah. So you had to lean on her a lot. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Like, because I was like, if they're cheering, how did that make you feel? Because you had to miss some of the events, so probably a lot of them.
Oh yeah, you already know. Yeah, you already know. It
Yeah.
it, it, it got a little easier for me after I retired from Detroit and started this other job, but it's still a challenge.
Hmm.
But um, I've been able to attend the majority of their events now. Uh, my middle daughter she was on a traveling cheer team.
Uh-huh.
I didn't make all of her out of state events. I made all her in state events, but I made quite a few of her out state events, but I didn't make every last one of them.
Hmm.
And that's right. My 14-year-old, she ran track AAU. She was on the travel team as well. So
Okay.
I missed a ton of her out of state track events because of work.
How did that make you feel? Like when or did they ever express like, oh, or did you make them understand that you couldn't be there, for a
You know,
lot?
my kids were born well into me being into my career. So,
Okay.
I hate to say this because it's not I don't think it should be a normal thing, but they were kind of used to me working, and they knew that he might have to work, he might not be able to come,
Yeah.
he might not be able to make it, because on the day of the events, I could actually be there. It's just the travel time
Right.
it wasn't congruent with
You get
me
back to
going to
work
work,
on
trying
time.
to make sure I paid the bills at home and took care of the stuff that needed to be taken care of, So, but
Right.
they
Did you
understood.
have did you have any kind of feelings about that? Like if if they got to the championship and they were like, "This is our championship game, Dad," and you'd be like,
I didn't
I,
miss I didn't miss any championship games.
okay, okay."
I I did miss my daughter did participate in the Junior Olympics, I think in South Carolina, and I wasn't able to. I did miss that. Yeah.
Wow. What was your feelings on that one? Was you thinking like maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that, and then you calculated reality and said, "No, this is due, that's due." So,
See, you've been there before, haven't you?
all time.
You've been there before. Yeah. I
All
mean,
time. But I
that's
mean,
a
as a man, though, people say, it's your responsibility to take care of your family. So
yeah.
I'm just wondering, do you have the guilty feelings like anybody else, male or female?
Nah, I don't.
You
I don't
know,
have any guilt. I don't have any guilty feelings. I talk to my kids. Communication is very important, and they understand. They know that they
that's
know what I'm doing and why I got to do what I do, and they know when I'm available. Um, you know, I go to their events and I participate and do what I need to do. I go up to the school. I mean, over the years, I've been up to the school volunteering. You know, what was it? It was a program. Dad's on duty. It's a dad's on duty program I used to participate in with my kids at school. So that was a lot of fun too.
yeah. Okay, so the way that you were raised with your siblings, did that help you? Because you said you guys are close. Did that help you to try to raise your daughters so they're close as well, even though they're a few years apart from one another?
Well, they're all very close to each
Okay,
other because they siblings. They love each other. They get on each other's nerves, but they talk every day. They talk every day. I don't talk to my brothers and sisters every day,
right.
but my youngest daughter is in the house by herself now. She's only child in the house, and she talks to her sister, her middle sister, every single day. So I come to find out, I didn't know that. I just found that out recently. But you know, I I don't know if as a parent I can have an influence on how they interact with each other. But I'm just thankful that well, I do have an influence. I share a
Yeah,
story. I,
I was gonna disagree with you, but we're
yeah,
not.
I'll share a story. But you know, um, they are very close. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. But what I did used to do when they used to fight, they used to go to town. I would make them sit down and hold hands until I felt like I was ready for them to sit down, face each other, and just stand there and sit down and hold hands and look at each other until I felt like I was ready for them to stop.
That
you
probably
know,
didn't happen too many times after that, then, huh?
I did it a few times.
That's what I'm saying. But it wasn't like, from the age of 5 to the age of 10, it didn't like that. It probably just happened infrequently, though.
Yes,
Once
yeah, it was very
you gonna
infrequently,
start
but
laughing at your sibling. I mean, they probably gonna make faces, and
that's exactly
realize just
you've been
realize
there,
how
Sarah. You
silly
already
they've been
know.
acting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they turned it into a good time. So I mean, that's exactly
yeah,
what I wanted them to be able to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like that. I like that. So you have all girls. Now your siblings have boys and girls, all boys, or
Uh, my brother has two boys, two girls. My sister
okay,
has two girls, one boy.
okay.
Yeah.
So
And my other brother, Gentry, has. Hold on, let me pull my fingers out now. One, two. He got.
well, he had more than two.
Yeah,
Did
he
you
got
say he
two
had?
boys. He got two
Okay,
boys. One, two, three. He got two boys, and I think he got four girls.
okay. So did you want boys
I
at one
did.
particular time?
I did.
But now
before.
that you got your, but now that you got your girls,
I'm happy.
the yeah.
I'm thankful. I'm blessed. I'm glad that they came out healthy, beautiful, smart. Uh, you know, and I'm glad. I may not have gotten the son that I thought I wanted, but I have some beautiful, beautiful daughters that are healthy and blessed, and I thank God for that.
Amen.
And I got a
So now,
grandson.
oh yeah, I forget about that. So when you watch your brother interact with his sons, do you see the difference? I mean, even though, 'cause like the way your daddy handled you guys and the way your mom handled you, when you look at you and your wife, how you're handling your daughter, and you look at your brother, how he's handling his sons. I mean, what do you think you would have wanted those sons
Oh
just a
yeah,
little
yeah. I
more,
would have. I
or
would have loved. Of course, every man would love to have a son or two. You know.
it?
It's just something. I think if I had a son, I'd probably worry less. I don't know. I'm thinking. But with girls, I'm like, I feel like I always need to be there to make sure they all right and protect them because I'm a man and they're girls and I'm like, but I think if I had a son, I'd be a little bit more relaxed. I don't know.
Okay.
But that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Especially
That's,
when they start dating.
oh, oh,
Oh my
so
God,
okay, yeah.
especially
Get to that. Your oldest daughter, when did she have guys? Would you allow her to have guys over, or
so
how did that go for dating for
so
your daughter?
my oldest daughter started dating when she was 16, you know.
Okay.
Uh and that was an interesting it was interesting to it was interesting,
Okay.
but and no, I didn't. We
Intimidating.
would let her little friends come over and stuff, let her go out on dates or whatever. But um, yeah, it was a little difficult for me, even with all of them when they would bring these little boys around the first time. It was a little difficult. Even my youngest daughter, she got a little boyfriend now. So, but I met them all, and I told them don't bring no boy home with his pants falling off his butt because I'm gonna send him right
Okay.
out the door.
Any other stipulations like hardcore rap music or smoking or anything like that? What kind of advice do
Yeah,
you give them
yeah.
when they try to select a young man to date? What advice are you giving them other than the
I mean,
pants?
I can tell them what I want to tell them,
Well,
but
I just want to know
they
what it
gonna do what they
is.
want to
It,
do in the end
I
anyway, right?
understand that. Yeah, I
But
understand. But
yeah,
what did you suggest to them that you wouldn't think was
I
good
tell I tell I
dating
tell my
material?
kids, I tell them not to, if they're gonna find somebody that they're interested in, don't mess with somebody who's not doing anything. Don't
Okay.
mess with somebody who all they do is sit around and smoke weed. Uh, and the telltale for me, this is just one of my things. Don't mess with a little boy who can't wear his pants right. I mean, just pants falling off your butt. That's a no. And I just try to tell them to make sure if they find somebody, make sure that it's a respectable
Mhm.
little boy. And of course, and when they get serious, they always tell them, well, I don't want to say serious, but when they say I have a boyfriend, they tell their mama first, and then their mama tell me, and then I got to go to them because they don't want to tell me.
Why
Right.
is
So
that? Because you're not going to approve of anybody?
yeah, this is funny to me, but they're afraid to tell me, and I don't know why, but I'm glad they are. I'm glad there's some fear there. you
Because they
know,
think you're going to say,
I mean, what can you do? I can't tell
Right.
them no, because if you tell the kid no, they're gonna find a way to do what they want to do, right?
That's
So
right.
I like to. I mean, I'm gonna tell her no. I tell them no about certain things, but there are certain things that teenagers will find their way around. I've been there before. I was a teenager, so I try to be open with my kids so we can have open dialogue, and they won't be afraid to talk to me about anything. Uh, I try to be reasonable in letting them date or whatever, but I do have a rule. A little boy can't be in my house after 11 unless we're having a party or a holiday event or something like that. You
Okay.
know,
Sounds
I
fair
say
to
little
me.
boy, they grown men. Well, they grown men. The other two, they dating grown men, but you know, uh, yeah, so that was a challenging thing for me, and uh, I make sure that I make it a point to meet the parents of these kids when I can, and
Mhm.
also to have like a little one-on-one with the little, I'm gonna call them little boy. They, some cases they grown men. For my older dog, I'm still calling them little boys.
I got you.
I make it a
I
point to
understand.
have like some one-on-one with these little boys over the barbecue grill,
Okay, got you.
and try to find out what their psychology is, what their thoughts about life and success and those things are. I'm just kind of doing that fill out kind of thing,
Right. Yeah.
and I'm subliminally instilling some fear in them too.
That's fair.
Uh,
Okay.
right.
Okay, so with your oldest daughter, she's graduated. She's got her own money. So, has she ever had to come back to you for any financial help or financial advice?
Nope.
Bless
Nope.
you.
She
So,
doing all good.
so who taught you about managing your money?
I learned the hard way.
Oh, oh,
I learned by doing.
all right.
I didn't have the guidance about credit and money management. It wasn't until I started getting credit and making money that I had to figure, oh, let me get this together.
Mhm. Okay.
So I kind of figured it out on my own.
So, who was better with money? Would you say your mom or your dad? Who appeared to have?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, we were always taken care of. We had what we needed.
Right.
We never wanted for anything. We always had a roof over our heads. We always had food. So, I mean, as far as I was concerned, you know how kids are. It's like you living your best life. You know?
Right.
Yeah. So I
Exactly.
felt
You
like,
are.
yeah, I felt like I was living my best life as growing up the whole time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So when you did graduate from high school, and maybe your first, did you ever ask your dad or your mom to help you? Do you remember one thing like, could you help me get a car? Could you help? Did you ever ask them to
Oh
help
shoot.
you purchase something?
I bought my first car myself.
Okay.
I
Okay.
remember I was in high school and we had a field trip, but we had to supply our own transportation. And one of my classmates had a car, and we all piled into his little car, and he had a little kicker speaker in the back. And we just had a good time going out to the site where the field trip was. And I started looking over my shoulder like, I think I could do this. So that entire summer, I
Mhm.
worked my tail off. I saved up all my money, and I bought a car.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did. I bought a car. I bought my first car when I was 16.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. So, what will you tell your college student now about money? You know, if she's got scholarship money or whatever. Well, how do you tell her how to manage that? You know, how to get
Oh
the
yeah,
little.
absolutely. I made sure to have the conversation with her about money management. I mean, when before they leave and go off to school, it's time to
Right.
have. I've had adult conversations with her before, but not like I did before she left to go away to college. I
Right.
had to take the gloves off and just had to be brutally honest about the world. Before she left home, and part of that was talking to her about money management and spending money, and of course, me being a father and being a man, these men out here, they can be predatory, especially with college students. So,
Right.
I told her if she ever need anything, whatever she needs, all she got to do is ask me or her mom, and we'll make sure
Right.
we get it to her because I don't want her out here, some old dude trying to buy her some Air Force Ones and some White Castle trying to take care of her. You know what I'm saying? No, that's
I
not going
got you.
to happen.
Yeah,
You don't,
I
no,
got you.
no. If you need something, you come to me first.
Exactly. Exactly. So, what do you think is something that every dad should know about their children?
I think uh, we need to know their temperament. You know, we need to. For me, I need to know that I don't. I just have this thing as a parent to my child. I need to know that my child is thinking in the way that I would consider the right way.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain that, but their mind needs to be on track with doing the right thing uh, in every aspect of being a human being. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but I just want my kids to be
So what?
the best
Uh,
human
so
beings
what?
they can be. You know,
So
so
what
I
kind of
mean,
values have you taught them? Family
uh,
values and stuff.
oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, the basic stuff. Be respectful. Treat people the way that you want to be treated. Be honest. Uh, yeah, I taught my kid. I told him you can't trust everybody. You know,
Right.
people have to earn your trust because that's very important. Because if you just go out there and you give your trust to everybody that you meet, you're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah.
You're gonna get disappointed really bad. So I mean, I told him you have people have to earn. You can't just give people your trust. You know, I think I just shared with them the basic tenets of just being a human being. You know, I think the basic tenets of being a human being is is what makes you a good person. I just want my kids to be good people, and I want them to be successful. You know,
Uh, Like that.
yeah.
So what qualities do you value the most in yourself?
Mm. Um. Mm,
Why are you
uh.
laughing?
I don't know. I just, nobody's perfect, but I'll say what I
Right.
value the most in me, and I have flaws. We all have flaws, right? But
Yes.
the first thing I say is my humility. Um, I show myself friendly to everybody until they give me a reason not to, you know. And even then, I just pull away and go in a different direction because I don't want to. If I can't be friendly with you, I don't want to be unfriendly to you. So you come in this way, I go that way. You know what I'm
All right.
saying? And it's not hard for me to be friendly to anybody because I consider myself a friendly person. A lot of people look at me and say, "Oh, you mean? You look mean. You're not." No, I'm okay. I'm a friendly guy. Gotta get
I
to
don't
know
get
me.
that. Yeah.
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 And uh, I'm honest. Uh, I'm trustworthy. Um, if it's something, I tell people, I tell people all the time, you can trust me, but if it's something that you don't want nobody else to know, don't tell me. And I only say that because if it's something that you don't want nobody else to know, you shouldn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? So I mean, yeah, hey, if you want it to be a secret, it needs to be your secret only and nobody else's. But yeah, I consider myself a trustworthy person, honest, uh, hardworking, um, intelligent, of course. Um,
Of course.
yeah. So I mean, it might be some more stuff. I just can't think of it right now. My mind is just going. I'm like, got all these things popping up, and I want to make sure I pull out the
Okay.
right stuff. No,
So do your children know that they can tell you anything?
I told them that how
So
comfortable they are, how
right.
comfortable they are with telling me anything. I'm not sure because, like I said, they have like they can go to their mom first about certain things, and they can come to me first about certain things. You know, so it's
What's your,
huh?
go ahead.
No, it's what they feel, but I've expressed to them that they can come to me and talk to me about anything. You know, I've had conversations with my daughters where I wanted to boil over and just jump up and knock everything off the table, but I had to contain myself because I didn't want to spoil the feeling that they would have to be able to come to me and talk to me about anything. So I had to reserve my true emotion in action, and just speaking words and speaking words in a way where I wouldn't shut them out or that will prevent them from coming to me later on and talking to me about anything. If that makes sense. I don't know if I
Yes.
clarified that, but
No, you just said you got discipline. Yeah, you have discipline. Yeah, I like that.
yeah.
So, what's your favorite thing about each of your daughters?
they are they all individual. They all had their own personalities, and I just I love that they're caring children. They're caring human beings. Uh, they're respectful. Uh, they got their minds in the right place right now. My two adult girls are doing they're doing great in the pursuits that they're in right now. Um, I'm just grateful and thankful that they're doing everything.
Okay.
You know how you had this expectation for your kids?
Yeah.
They're all on track with the
Okay.
expectations that I've had.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. So I just keep my fingers crossed and hope that they stay there, you know.
They will. They will. How do you show them you love them?
Uh, I, I don't I'm goofy with my kids. You know, I do silly stuff around the house. Like I said, when they little friends come over to the house, all my daughters tell me, their friends say, "Your daddy mean," you know, and
What?
I can only assume, but this is before. This is just when they look at me, when they see me.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. They all say, "Your daddy mean," and my kids say, "My daddy ain't mean. He goofy." So I mean, I show my kids I love them by talking to them.
Making them laugh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I can't even really explain. It's just being a dad, you know. I love the hell out of my daughters. You know, there's nothing I wouldn't do for them. You know, I mean, it's even times where uh, I've seen them in like my wife is calm. My wife is calm as hell. I don't know. Women are super duper strong, and I got to give it to y'all. I
Yes.
love women.
Thank you.
Women, you guys are just awesome. But for me, when I see my daughters like hurting or get hurt, uh, I was about to cuss again. That hurts me.
You
You
can,
know what I'm
you
saying?
can, you can. This is a show. We want you to be real. So if that's how you talk, that's how you talk. But don't
Yeah.
fling too many mofos in there. You know.
No, I'm not. I refrain from using any profanities
Thank
because
you.
this is supposed to be a show about being a parent, right? So yeah, we keep it
Yeah,
clean.
but parents do use profanity, so
Yeah.
sometimes you
So
have to.
yeah. So what was I saying?
When your
Oh no,
daughters
yeah.
get
When they
hurt,
get
your
hurt,
wife
like
is cool and calm,
yeah,
but you probably are different.
yeah. I remember. Let me just give you an example. This way back when my middle daughter, I think she was like 2 or 3 years old, climbing up a ladder at the playground. And I ain't never seen a slide ladder this high before, except on a giant slide. This slide
Wow.
ladder, this slide had to be about 15 feet. The ladder at the top had to be about 15 feet high. She gets to the top and falls off backwards. And I'm sitting there
Wow.
watching, and it's like slow motion. She falls down, in the ground where the metal part of the ladder is. It's got concrete posts. She falls down and hits her head on the concrete post, right? And she get a little dent in her head. And I'm panicking. I snatch her up, and I'm like, "We gotta go to the emergency room." And we were at an open house for graduation for one of my wife's cousins, and all the aunties are out there, grandma, my wife, and they all mamas. They got kids, grandkids. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I'm like the daddy to girls, and I got to protect my girls.
Right.
If it would have been a little boy, I probably would have told him to dust himself off and get back up the ladder. But I snatched this
Okay.
one up and I took her to the emergency room. I was like, that's why I got insurance. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna make sure she all right. And my wife was like, she all right. Then the aunties was like, well, she ain't pass out. She good. I'm like, she ain't pass out. I'm like, I'm taking my daughter to the emergency room. Forget y'all.
They want to put some ice on there and let her get back out there and
Right,
play.
right.
And you was like, no, my baby can't be hurt.
Right. They like, well, if you go home later, just hold on. If she start throwing up or something, then take. I'm like, it'd probably be too late when she start throwing up. We going now. But it's something to you have to listen to the moms and grandmas and the aunties because they had experience. I didn't have the experience, but I just couldn't do. I was like, I got to take her for my peace of mind.
Right, you're a
You know,
protector. That's your job. That's what y'all do. So, hey, as long as you were happy, what did the doctor tell you? She's all right.
doctor said she was fine. She just had a little dent in her skull right here.
No
You
blood.
know, no
There was
blood.
No blood.
No, but you could see like
Okay.
the impression of the concrete. I'm like, oh man,
Right.
I don't look right.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. All right. We're gonna take a quick break. It's gonna be like 30 seconds. And hold on, everybody. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Real Dad Speak will return with Danny Williams in just a few minutes.
My name is Sean Williams, and I am the founder and president of the Dad Gang Incorporated. The Dad Gang is a support group for Black fathers, and we are on a mission to change the way the world views Black dads.
I do agree there's a misconception about Black parenting and Black fathers.
Welcome back, everybody, to Real Dad Speak. We're talking with Danny Williams about fatherhood. He's a dad and a husband. All right, Danny, we've come to the part of my show where we have my final five. It's either questions or fill in the blank. So,
Okay.
number one, what do you think all boys and girls need from their father?
They need love, of course. They need to be shown that they're loved. You know, absolutely.
Yeah. Number two, what are you trying to show your daughters about being a man and a dad?
How a man should treat a woman. You know, how a man should respect a woman, because I expect for them, when a man chooses them and they accept the man, that he treats them with respect and treats them like they need to be treated as, as women from a man.
All right. Number three, what's the best advice your mom or your dad ever gave you?
Ooh, I don't know. My mother used to tell me everything is going to be all right. And it took a long time for me to figure out that everything is going to be all right. So, I don't even know if that's more of a saying than advice, but to me, that's what sticks with me from her. So, yeah. So it finally settled in probably 2 years ago, that no matter, no matter what's going on in life, whatever's happening, whatever's causing any trivia, in the end, everything's going to be all right. And that's what it is. My dad is like the oracle. Ooh, he's given me so much advice, and I swear it is spot on. It comes, what he says happens the exact same way he says it's gonna happen. And so he tells me so many things. I listen to everything he says now. It's all golden. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Number four, what's one of the proudest moments you can remember about being a dad? Or if you have more than one.
Yeah. Well, every time, I mean, it's a whole lot, but I think the biggest deal for me was when the birth of my children, because that's what made me a father, right? So there are a lot of proud moments for me being a dad as it relates to my kids, but I would say right now what sticks out the most is the birth of my children. Yeah. Yeah, it was something amazing. So I mean, you can't really describe. You have to, if you're not a dad, you wouldn't know what it was like until you became a dad. If that makes sense.
Did you go in the birthing room? Were you one
I
of
was-
those daddies?
I was there for all my births. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Number five. This is a fill in the blank. The thing or things that make me sleep good at night are blank or is blank.
My CPAP machine.
You're so
Okay, I quit. I'm
stupid.
sorry. Uh, that wasn't funny, but
That
it
was
was fun.
funny. That was
No, I sleep well at night knowing that my family is protected and that my family is taken care of. Yes.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate your time. I know you got to go and do major things at your job, but I thank you for your time.
All right,
And
went by really fast. Wow.
well, you said you had to be done by 9 o'clock, so I had to, cut down my questions. But
Yeah, I
thank
know.
you.
Yeah, I appreciate you for inviting me, Sarah. I enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah. Well, thank you
Yeah,
for sharing. I'm pretty sure
yeah.
somebody can relate to, being able to be disciplined enough to be quiet and listen to the kids without interacting,
Mhm.
in a negative way that would stop them from talking to them with future issues that they may have. That's very
Right.
valuable because with
Absolutely.
mothers, we talk, we don't listen. So boys cut us off. And husbands do too, because we tend to talk over you guys. We don't let you get your thought out because y'all take too long. But anyway, we try to finish your sentences, which is wrong, but that's okay. But
Right.
thank you, Danny. I appreciate you coming and sharing your stories
Thank you.
and your time. All right,
All right.
everybody,
Thank
thank you
you.
for tuning in to Real Dad Speak. We have a new episode every Tuesday at 7 o'clock on YouTube. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you next time on Real Dad Speak on YouTube. Thanks a lot.